this will be the reading for Cancer for the summer of 2017. I've done this reading already, lost the video, so having to redo it again. I'm just going to do it fresh, and really going to give you a little bit of insight into where my readings are going to go for next, well, I was going to say next season, but for next year. So over the winter, I'll be transferring into the love, sex, and romance side of things, and then, you know, having a little bit of career and stuff in the background to kind of amp things up. So for now, this is the Cancer reading for summer of 2017. So for those that don't live in Canada with me, that means June 20th to September 22nd approximately. So I want to thank everybody for their likes and subscribes again. Thanks for following and joining my page. That's really where you're going to get all the insight into what's going on. So thanks for the people, new people that have joined, and for those who haven't, feel free to do so. And on with the reading. I'm going to start with the feminines. Now my masculine deck took off on me, so I have to replace it with the regular tarot. I'm using the Thelma deck. Very beautiful deck, so I'm going to be using that for the male side, and for the female I will be sticking to the goddesses and sirens. The gods and titans took off. The universe has a way of doing this for me. I went all morning looking for these cards, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go with the flow. I'll pick another deck. Kind of irritating when you're late for your readings and then you want to get stuff out, but nonetheless, this is the way it's supposed to be. So here we go. Females, the first card is protection. Now when you have protection, you have to be careful that you make sure that you're not doing anything that you need protection from. So the next card we get is strength. So obviously, you know, these Cancers have come from a period of doing some inner work. Some, if not inner work, just strictly paying attention to themselves, making themselves more of a priority. And though that work doesn't sound like work, it is absolutely something the universe wants you to do to get yourself forward. And it advances you in ways you have no idea, otherwise you would have done it sooner. So the strength I feel is coming from these Cancer women going inside and really finding what they need to make themselves happy. Going in there and not just making everybody outside of them happy, but starting to prioritize themselves. So that's good. And that's where their strength's coming from. It's like, I know what I need to do. And if I want to take a break, I'm going to take a break. And you know what? I'm not going to let anybody stop me from doing that. And I'm going to enjoy it instead of that go, go, go. They're starting to realize that they need to enjoy that time. And maybe not quite feeling like they do enjoy it, but they're getting in gear to really accept that. The next card I get is temptation. So seems like you may have a little bit of your old ways coming back in. So this mode of being busying things up, getting back to the way things used to be. This is the temptation. Now, feeling very strongly, don't go there. Don't go back into that rut, because again, it's you that gets sacrificed through that. It's your time, your money, your energy that gets wasted. And I'm saying wasted because you don't really take the time to look inside to figure out what makes you happy, and then you go outside with it. And when you do that, you make better choices, better decisions about what you should do with your time. It's clearer who deserves it and who doesn't, those kind of things. So I feel like there's temptation here to drag you back into your old ways. And I mean, we have to kind of go back and forth, in order to realize, yeah, this is where I need to be. And right now, I think for the Cancer females, they're feeling very uncomfortable with this new way of being, this slowing down, this paying attention. So they want to get back to the way they were doing things before. So that temptation is high. The next card is faith. So there may be something that is shaking your faith a little. I feel like some of these Cancers may have gone through a little bit, and were needing faith. Maybe didn't have faith, but we're just putting one foot in front of the other, carrying on. So they need to kind of dig a little deeper and grab a little more resources in the way of looking forward in with bright prospects, right? Looking forward with faith that things will unravel better than they did in the past, better than you think you may deserve. And I think even that area of deserving, what these Cancer women deserve, their bar is being raised here. They're suddenly saying, you know what, all that stuff I had in the past, I just accepted that. That wasn't even good for me. So now I go up here and accept more than that and better than that and greater things and have faith that it will come to you, because that's really all that it takes. So that faith, you have to kind of dig a little bit for that. I feel like it's kind of maybe part of the old ways, part of that temptation is to go back into negative thinking, back into the ways where you think, you know, like you're not really keying into the positive side of things. So there might be a negative energy that's just kind of eating away at you. So you need to dig deeper and gain the faith that you can have better things, because they are showing up for you and they are clearing things out. It's just, it feels so uneasy. What is this? It feels so weird that we kind of don't know how to accept it properly. So have the faith that it's meant for you. You take it in and you move forward. The next card is new beginnings. So new air, fresh stuff is coming. I feel like, you know, it's kind of smack in the middle of the summer. So July, middle of July, end of July, there's going to be new air, new developments. I think that will give you, I think they'll be attached to the faith, you know, the hope of better stuff. So you kind of have to have that faith in order to make the connection to the new beginning, to kind of plug that in and then move, you know, get that loaded up. So the faith depends highly on your new beginning, but I feel like that air is coming in. It's just the opportunities you take hold of. So the last card we get for the Cancers is contentment. Contentment? I got these lights are bright. Contentment. Yeah. So the woman's there. It looks like a baby being ready to be born there, and it's lit up. And like I said before, I feel this, I mean, being in this position now, I had said before about some readings, you know, don't be too surprised if there's no pregnancy, but being in the mount position here that we have these Cancers, it could absolutely mean that some of these Cancers are going to be pregnant or birthing very soon. They are pregnant already, but everything, new beginnings, right? So that would really go with the new beginnings, is you know, even a first child or a second child, where you come in and you're like, yeah, you know, I got to change. Things are going to be different. They always are. I mean, time goes on, but with the birth of a new baby, things would absolutely be different. So there's your new beginning. For some will be a baby, some will be a pregnancy, some will be, for the females, I feel like a lot of them too, and this, they're going more to a quarter of this, like I said, with it being in this position, that's the majority of people are going to be birthing, but a quarter of them who maybe are older, or, you know, it's not possible, they will be surrendering to that part of themselves that they have to nurture, meaning their own selves, like their own. So really, instead of a baby and nurturing that, they're going to be nurturing that part of themselves that has been not tended to for so long. So, and that's why it's glowing from inside. It's like, yeah, it's going to there's going to be a lot of love given, and that's the area that these Cancers really need to give it, is to themselves, and then go out with it, and it amps everything up from there. You really need to work from the inside out. So now, little spins here. What I normally did was I put the romance to the females and the love and sex to the males. So I mixed everything. I gave love and romance to both sides. And I also gave a clarification card overall to kind of amp up. And then I gave another card to surrender. I have a deck of surrender cards by, what is she called here? Judith Orloff. She's actually, I think she's a psychiatrist. Anyway, she made up a deck of surrender cards. So if you are having any blocks in any way whatsoever, this is the card to pinpoint those blocks. So I'm going to start with the love side of things. Start on the soft end of the love stuff. For the Cancer females, what the first card we get is turn on your heart light. Allow yourself in the moment to reflect on a time when you experienced love. So this is really, they're showing me, yeah, you need to think about times in the past. You Cancer women need to think about times in the past where you were really truly happy with love, and the love side of things. Really truly happy with a partner. Not that you get that partner back, but what was it that they did that made you truly happy? Because I feel like you've been disconnected from that feeling for quite a while. That feeling of being really truly happy. And not only that, not had the time or made the time to look back and think about stuff like that. It's on the past, I can't get it back. Blah, blah, blah. No, you need to review it. You don't need to stick in it, but you need to review it to understand what it was that made you happy. And then try and find it in the outside world now. Or just that acknowledgement of what it was that made you happy can actually show up for you at that time. So you need to acknowledge it and not block it off. I feel like these Cancers are really putting blinders on again and starting to go down that path. It's like, nope, I gotta work, and it's like, yeah, we all need to work, but we need to balance our home lives and also our love lives. And I feel like they may be driven so much in the career side of things that they are not paying enough attention at home to their partner, to their family, to those kind of things. It's imbalanced in that way. So I don't know that they know what the balanced state feels like. I don't think they've ever keyed in. I think they're starting to understand now where it fits. So they need to dive into that. They need to find out what made them happy and then go forward with that idea. Well, that made me happy. I need to find something like that. Someone that gives me that. Or explain that to your partner and say, you know, I like the days when we da-da-da. That really made me happy, da-da-da. And then see what happens. So turn on your heart light is just really to open that up and don't close that off, because I feel like these Cancers are so career driven that they're shutting down on the romance side, and you can't do that. So you have to open up. The next card I got was be authentic to who you are. You are asked to be real and true pertaining to who you are and how you feel. So that another thing, that just takes us back to the self-love, right? And the self-care and the self-duty. I feel like a lot of these Cancer women, they just don't feel it's something they need to do, but they don't realize the benefit in the whole scheme of things. They have no clue how it can benefit you. So if you are authentic to who you are, you stand up for what you want, ask for things that you want, you may get them. You know, there's a new energy coming in. There's new energy infused constantly, but a new energy coming in for the end, middle to the end, towards fall, for your summer. And you want to be able to be authentic by that time. Otherwise, you're going to miss the opportunities. So when I say authentic to who you are, I mean really truly digging down deep and seeing what makes you happy. Does it make you happy to visit with friends, or are they annoyances? Does it make you happy to go out and visit, or is that annoying to you? Or would you rather travel, or would you rather stay at home? These are the things you really, and then start doing those things. Start implementing those things. Make sure that they're there, not just in thought, but in action as well. And then that's when the universe pays you back for it, because you're being true to who you are, so that you can go outward with your wishes, and they will be true to you because they will give it back if you truly do feel it. Because if you're doing for others, that's the universe get confused, when you do for others, because they're going, well, that's not an energy match. She's not quite happy there. She's saying she's happy, but she's not. And they don't go by what you say. They go by what you're vibrating at. So if you're vibrating like I'm missing something, I'm feeling, then guess what? That continues. So it's a repetition. But these Cancers need to hear it, because they're starting to key in to those things that get them going in the right direction, and now they're feeling like going back to the old ways. You can't do that. Keep going forward. It's going to feel uncomfortable for a while, but just keep going. The next card, the last card I get for romance, is slow down. Yep. The same thing with these Cancers. They're trying to speed life back up again. This is not the way the universe wants you to roll. When you speed things up, you miss your partner gets thrown away, you get thrown away, and then suddenly it's about work, money, and obligations that need to be done. And though we have those, we need to balance them. And you've been balancing. I feel like the energy's in there. You've been balancing for a while, but it just doesn't feel right, so you don't want to stay there. And they're saying, slow down. When you're excited, you get ahead of yourself. So take some time to allow things to unfold. And I remember from the reading, naturally is the word they gave me. Let it unfold naturally. Don't push it. Don't, try and wrangle it. Let it unfold naturally, and things will happen at a greater pace. Now, the sex and romance side of things here. Well, we're moving from love and romance, from romance to sex. Okay, so the first card I got for the Cancer women is the Nine of Pentacles. So I'm just going to do an overview, and then I'll break it down to singles and couples. We have the Nine of Cups, which is, we have a graphic here of a man, overlooking a female cutting her hair. It's kind of like, I love you so much, I want to take like a souvenir. It's like he's not engaging with her in the moment. Obsessing of something in the bedroom, whether it's the sexual act itself and not really being in it. Maybe even, you could be even getting into a mode where you are obsessing so much about having an orgasm that you're not really letting yourself be in the moment and unfold. So there's a bit of an obsession here about something going on in the bedroom. But I'll continue on to the next card, is the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups is about this woman who is being, she's very much in her head. So it's like she's still kind of in the relationship, but she's more in a daydream. So it's like there's something missing. There's something starting to be stale, something that she's not quite. And then there's like a face in the background, kind of almost like thinking of a past relationship. So you may be doing that, kind of not really being in the game. And here too, there's an obsessive factor here with the physical union. And then here, there's kind of a daydreamy wonderment, like, oh, almost to the beginning stages of, should I take off? Should I go? Do I need to be here? It's kind of like the beginning stages of where your mind goes when you're just not happy. So the next card that I get is the Seven of Pentacles. And this is really a karmic tide card. Now, this couple here is sitting, and they are, there's a chain that's hanging from her wrist, and it's not tied to him. So it's basically suggesting the breaking of a karmic tie to someone. So you may be in a position where, there's a few scenarios dropping out here for me. Okay, if you're in a coupled situation, you may be in a position where you are obsessing about a partner, obsessing about the past, the way it used to be, and you may not be in the moment with someone right now. You may be focused on a relationship that could have just passed, and now you're trying to get into a new relationship, and your head's not all in the game. You're not quite there. That could be one scenario for couples. So basically, if you're a new couple, newly coupled, and you had a breakup with a major partner that you had a karmic tie to, things are kind of, your head's not in the game. Now, for singles, I'm thinking you could be, see, another, what I get with this 9 of Cups, or sorry, it's Pentacles. Man, I do that all the time with these. I can't read them. The writing is so small. Anyway, the 9 of Pentacles. Holy. Okay, so with the 9 of Pentacles, what I usually get with this, I mean, you have the fire in the background. It's like a lot of energy being put forth into a union, yet not connecting on a soul level. That you may be connecting physically, right? He's right on top of her. He's almost connected to her physically. But he's looking at the hair and not looking at her. She's looking up. So there's no connection being made. So you got to watch for that. Because there's a bit of an obsession here. And when you get into obsession, it may be you may have got a partner that you couldn't think you could get. And you're so in your head about it that you're not in the relationship. That's another scenario. Then the 5 of Cups is basically, yeah, that yearning for something more, something else. Or it could also be, see, the 5 of Cups has the possibility to take on the energy like, oh, I wish things were different, but I don't have the guts to tell my partner that. And if you don't, then you will completely lock yourself in this cage. Oh, I wish. But if you don't communicate it to your partner, he can't come forth. He or she can't come forth to help you with that. So very much being within her own self and not going out to her partner. Her partner's reaching out. So there's a want there for him to do that, to make her happy. But if she's not coming true with it, there's going to be nothing happening there. So the 7 of Pentacles is also about karmic ties. So there could, either way, I feel like a karmic tie has just been broken, or a karmic tie is just going to be started. And it could be both. You could have broken a karmic tie just recently, your head's not in the game, and you have another karmic tie coming, and your head's not in there either. But you gotta, balance that out. But really, I think the key here for the 5 in the middle is to really get your head in the game and communicate to your partner what you want. If you're not happy, you gotta let them know so they can step up. If they can't, then the relationship is going to start to crumble. Basically, it's at that point already. So really, what's going on here is somebody's really keeping things mum about the things that are really disabling them, meaning things that they want that they can't get, or they feel they can't get. And this might be an illusion. This might be just in your head. Once you communicate it outward, there could be solutions come of that. So that's really the way I see is an obsession turning to a break, or a break coming into another break. So be wary, Cancer, because there's a lot of heaviness in the bedroom there. So it's like there's a little bit of back and forth, little bit of energy where things are jumbled up a bit. And I feel like, these women, they were getting into the right phase of things. Now they're wanting to let that go, and it's absolutely transferring to the bedroom. So be aware that if this phase that you're wanting to cut off and get back to normal, back to routine, that is not where you are supposed to be sitting. So you slow things down, get your head back in the game, especially in the bedroom, because that transfers so quickly nowadays. People are just going to chop that up and move on to someone who can give them a better connection, a better headspace, really, because your head has to be in it. And if there are personal reasons that you're disengaging during sex, then you need to deal with those before you get into that partnership. You've got to deal with those, or at least be open to communicate that to your partner so that he can help you with it, or he or she can help you with it. So that is the deal. I feel like there might even be some issues there as well that we're just not getting under, and that's the not speaking. That's the not telling. It's like, they're not going to understand anyway. Men are more capable than we give them credit for, more times than not. So we really need to have to start trusting. I think these females are not trusting enough in the males to give them the credit to deal with what the personal issues. And if you don't have a partner there that you trust that could do that, then you shouldn't be with them, period. So you need to communicate. You need to go outward and tell them, because they're going to start to slip away as well. Because when you have disconnections like that on an emotional level, men really do feel it. They may not say it, but they feel it. So, and then they will work from that. And I feel like men can be hard and fast in that way. And really that is in the flow, because if you're not getting it and there's no reason the woman is holding back, then there's nothing he can do. He has to move on. So open up to your partner in the bedroom about those sexual things, those hang-ups that you're even, and if you don't know what they are, slow down, take some time to think and reassess that and go outward with it, because that's really what it is. You're not taking the time to deal with any of this, so it's backing up on you. Okay, I'm moving on. The next card I got was the surrender card. Now, this is what, if you have any blocks, this is where it's going to give you a hint as to where that lies. Now, the card that I picked for the Cancer females is surrender to wonder and awe. Open to the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder in all of life. This attitude will keep you connected to the ecstasy of flow. So that really is an amp up of this 5 card, the 5 of Cups. Just stay in the moment, because you're not in the moment. You're thinking about what you got to do today and what you got to do tomorrow and what you got to do next week and next year and next month. So much so that you are absolutely not in the moment. So you have to stop, smell the roses, and take all that in. Take the visuals in. Take the, take your time. Slow it down. There's 3 cards here in a triangle wrapped around your reading that are saying slow it down. If you do not, then this is what is going to happen. It's just going to gum you up, and you're going to start going into the ways. You're starting to see what the universe can do for you, how things can happen for you. And you need to slow down in order to do that. You speed back up. You are refusing. This is a refusal to learn from your mistakes. So take that into account. Surrender to the wonder and awe. Take your time to move forward. Now, I got a new deck here, fortune reading cards, and I decided to pick one extra to kind of amp up the whole thing, something positive to focus on. I got the eagle, and it said, you will soar towards your destiny with greater clarity and strength. Really what the eagle symbolizes is not only the focus, right, because he can focus from such a height, and clarity, the strength, and the endurance to overcome. And I feel like Cancer females kind of sums them up. They have a lot of strength, but they need to really dip into the softer side of things, the slow me down things, the absorb life things, and get into relationship things. But the eagle is there with the strength to say, you know what, even when we have our dips, we still have the strength to get through that, soar over it, and be right in it if we need to. And not only that, for relationships, it has a tendency to give you the strength to overcome obstacles. So when you get the eagle, it's really that, reboot, reboot charge, that thing. It's like, okay, no, I'm not going to let this destroy my future. It was my past, and I've got the strength to move forward. So, and in career and success, it really gives you the focus to see opportunities. You're seeing everything, all those things that the eagle flies over, he can pick those out right away. So these Cancer females, they know where their opportunities lie. They just need to be able to take advantage of those, because they're going to come your way. So be aware. And at work, it's really an omen that opportunities are coming, whether it's raises. Really, I get a sense from these Cancer females, like I'm waiting for something at work to open up, either a new position or being in a new area or doing something different, right? This new beginning. I feel like that opportunity that you're waiting for at work will come up for you because of this card. Because the ego can really focus and see. You just have to make sure that you slow down enough you don't miss the opportunity. And that's also a warning to amp up this card. Wonder and awe. Make sure that you slow down and see those opportunities. You don't miss them. Because I feel like in work, there is going to be an opportunity to, not, I don't want to say advancement, but it absolutely will be a bonus. Like literally money bonus, pay raise, or an opportunity within the company or wherever you're working to really get a nugget that you've kind of wanted all along. And I'm getting a sense this is a long-term thing you've wanted. So it's kind of like, I feel like the universe is really rewarding you for your stick-to-itiveness. That bit of it that's like, well, I'm going to keep going here. Let's see. And so now they're really throwing things back. So the eagle is really just that calm, sturdy strength that gets you through. So make sure you don't duck out on that and keep your faith. That's good. So now, for the Cancer males, scoot over. We start out at the base with the devil. So when we have the devil card, there are a few things. Like we're going back to the old tarot here. So the devil card is the sign of Capricorn. So there could be a Capricorn in your life coming forward. But there also could be temptations or feeling a sense of being bound. Or limited by something, someone is really, you want to do something, but there's a kind of an invisible barriers to things that you can actually accomplish. So I'm feeling the devil is really highlighting that. There's barriers here. Like you see in the card, there's people in the background and they're kind of on this web, but they're not tied. They're not bound. So they're really free to leave, but there's something that is keeping them there nonetheless. So sometimes you need to figure out what that is. Maybe go a little deeper and figure out what that is so you can work on that a little more. So it's not so binding, but nonetheless something that you're kind of stuck to. The next card I have is the Two of Wands. So here we have an eagle soaring over the sunset here with this guy, Two Wands. Usually a symbol of two directions. A crossroads that you're at, opening of an opportunity that you really are going forth with. Now he's got his hand on one and the other one is in the distance, so there's a sense here that one of them is closer to him than the other. So there's something brewing in that way as to two roads he can take. Now the next card I get is the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords is really that nightmare card. It's the worry, up late, stressful, anxiety, that kind of thing. So there's a lot that's on this person's mind, you know, a lot that's on the Cancer male's mind. Very stressful, very demanding, and very limiting for their energy. But nonetheless, it's having to do with a big I feel with these two cards behind, you know, the crossroads, it's having to do with change, making a big leap. So when you're doing that, it is stressful. There's no two ways. So, and also having the devil looming. He's off in the corner here, so he can be easily batted off. But you have to be careful, right? So that's, I think the Cancer male is really trying to make sure that he doesn't let this guy come and overtake the devil. He's making sure, and that's where I think the stress lies, is really trying to dot your I's and cross your T's and make sure that everything's lined up in the right way. So that could be stressful and anxiety causing. The next card I get is the Star. And the Star really amps up, and it's interesting that it's in the trine with the devil. So now she's looking upward and onward and he's looking down. So there's really a separation between the two cards of this energy affecting him. It's really just kind of like that negative attitude. He's like, yeah, I know I gotta get, it's almost like there's really no threat. It's there, but there's no threat of it infiltrating the whole reading, you know, infiltrating his whole life. It's not gonna, because he's kind of got a hold of it. He's got the Star here and he's looking upward and onward. So that is good. Good energy. Also a sign of Aquarius. really the mixing of the energies of spirit. Spirit from the universe and spirit from you. That's the way I see it with the star, because when you mix, and that's generally the intuition, when you mix the spiritual universe giving you intuition with your own intuition and what you feel you need, that's that star card, the perfect combination, right, of the universal influence and your influence together going outward. That's the star. And that's good, because it seems like this Cancer male is very focused on the details here, because that's why he's worrying. He's making sure that this devil don't take over, but he's got the star there. So he's got the universal connection, he's got his intuition, and he's following his own in his own private way, and he's following the universal within that. So that's good. Then we have the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles, I feel like this is a character card to amp up the Cancer. I mean, it is a Pentacle card, so it's earthy signs. But I feel like these Cancer males are very grounded. I feel like they're stable, sturdy, steady. They've got their career under wraps. They've not under wraps, but they've got it under control. And they've got, you know, finance, homework, life. Everything is to a degree becoming balanced. They may have a tendency to want to, the treasure chest there is to want to maybe build up too much money in that way. That may be one of the King's downfalls, but nonetheless happy, healthy, and, you know, generally grounded individual. He knows how to work, knows what to do, very solid in financial matters, very sound in business matters. So he's just a very wise man in that way. Where we end at is the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is the symbol of the two energies, masculine and feminine, joining together. The Ace of Cups is all that love and emotion you feel when you want a partner. And then the Two of Cups is really the manifestation of that outside of you. So that's really, this Cancer male has really worked from his inside, gotten to a point where he knows exactly what he wants, and now that it's showing up for him. So it's there, and that's a great sign for the singles, and even for the couple, just a partner that you can have. You may be in a partnered relationship and be finding someone outside of that, and then you have to take note of it. That may be the two paths. That may be the two directions that you have to think about. You have one here that you're solid with. You may find something outside of you that you want, so you have to take that into account. So yeah, the Two of Cups is really about joining and uniting and being together. And we have the King of Pentacles. He's really solid in business. He's got everything, really. He's got his shit together. And he's grounded, so there's not much that's going to get him flying off the handle. He may have a temper, but he's not going to fly off with it. He's not going to be a loose cannon. He's down to earth, and he really knows his stuff. And he usually has a clear head. Though he's got some anxiety here, I feel like it's all for the right reasons. And the Two of Cups and the Two of Wands here, symbolizing two directions. So if you are coupled, it seems like you may have a third party here that you just got to make a decision, whether it's married or coupled or dating or whatever. And if you're single, you may have two partners that you're looking to go outward with. So, and you can't make up your mind, that kind of thing. So we'll go off into the love area for these Cancer males. It really kind of seems like love is the crux here, is a union of souls. That's really what's flooding the reading, but there's a lot of anxiety about it. So where that anxiety comes from, I feel like you can't pinpoint it. I feel like the Cancer male is not going to be able to pinpoint where this is truly coming from. It's just really stress in all areas. When it comes to the romance, I feel like they're wanting to really just make sure they don't make any mistakes. That's really what I get here. Not only not mistakes, but feeling like I got to do this right. This has got to be done right. And if I need to stress about it, I need to stress about it. But I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make sure that it's right. And that's that. So That's really what I'm getting here, is there's a situation where there's a relationship that is coming to a crossroads. Could be, you know, stay or go. Could be divorce. Something like that. So the next cards that I get for love and romance, the first card, ask for help. What is it you really need help with? Be willing to allow yourself the support you need. So there may be, on the romantic side of things, I feel like these Cancer males are probably not usually given the run to go outward with any romantical kind of, like, I need help, can you help me, I need to. But I feel like they're searching. I feel like they're looking for answers from their partner. And they need to ask for that. They can't just will it away. Ask for the help that you're seeking, and you may get it, because that's really what's going on here. Is there's a little bit of something that they want, but they're afraid to go outward with it. So just do that. Asking for help will relieve anxiety, because it's really been built up on things that has not been said. So if you say it, then you can release that anxiety, and it may not be as bad as you think. The next card I get on the romance side is miracles and blessings. Everything has its gift. So if we are having a situation here where we have a couple that is breaking up, I think that's kind of see the brighter side of things. Things are, I'm getting a darker sense when I feel this card. It's like miracles and blessings. That's supposed to be good. But I get a sense that, you know, we may have a couple here that is on the verge of breaking up, and if they are, and it may be just at the stage where they're realizing that they're not happy. They're not happy, and they need to go in a different direction. And I feel like if the Two of Cups is there, I think they're seeing it outside of them. This is what I want. This is what I got. I don't like what I got. This doesn't suit me. So they're going outwards, and they're seeing it, and they're not yet made that leap, but they're at a crossroads. And so they need to ask for help, because this kind of, if they keep mum about things, it's just going to create more anxiety and more stress. So they're better to go outward and ask for that help that they need to make that decision clear. And then miracles and blessings, right? Everything has its gift. So even if it creates some trauma, and I'm saying trauma, but even if it creates some chaos, there are things that will come out of it that will release you from the hold that you have as devils holding on in a few areas, I feel. And the last card you have is Speak the Language of Love. Loving words have the power to change someone's life, including your own. So you may even, I feel for a part of these Cancers, they may be in a position where if they just communicate with their partner, they can fix things. And you speak that language lovingly instead of judgmentally, and you will get the reaction that you're looking for. And you may not even be looking for it, feeling it's not possible, but it is possible. I feel like there's a little veil here that these Cancers are under. It's like, no, they can get what they need. They just need to speak lovingly about it, and they will get the answers. So that's good. Now, getting into the sex side of things, maybe clear some stuff up. The first card I get is the Magician. So he's very powerful. He's almost like the Emperor, but he's more silent. He's not more as boastful about it. He has all the tools. He knows how to use them, and he's free to do so. So very much in charge of their own right sexually. I feel like these Cancer males are. They know what they have, what effect they have on their partner. They know what they need to make them happy physically, and they know what they have to give another partner. And so they're very, very, just very, very stiff. Oh man, not stiff, but very strong and sturdy in their idea of what it is that they can do and go forward with. So it's just very stable, grounded energy right there for the bedroom. The next card I get is the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is symbolizing a karmic tie. You have these two people with ties on their legs brought in union. So it really, I mean, the Two of Cups, it amps up that card. Kind of symbolizes, yes, there is great love here and great passion. A lot of fiery passion, right? Wands is passion and fire, and in a good way, in a fresh way, in a new beginning way. So there's a lot of that there. And a karmic tie symbolizing that these two people are joining union and under the powers that be, right? So very much going to be for a good path in that way. Now the third card I get is the Eight of Swords. So this is interesting because right here we have strong virile energy in the bedroom, and then the Eight of Swords is really working that one step further, but we have someone in the background that's really peering into the relationship. So there may be someone that is curious about the relationship, or I feel like kind of non-threatening, but yet still hovering. There's someone there that, so it may be an ex-lover, it may be an ex, like if we have a situation where partnership is going to break up, there may be the ex that's kind of sitting there going, yeah, okay, I know we're broke up, but still, you know, I want you, or, you know, I feel. So there's something there on the other side of the relationship that is kind of looming, and, you know, into where this new partnership wants to go. I do feel like it's an ending of one and a beginning of another, and that's really the way that it's going. And I feel like this Magician is I don't feel, if the Cancer is leaving this relationship, that he is losing any esteem. I feel like he may be building esteem in a better way, in a better direction, and feeling more karmically released from everything, and going to go in that different direction. Like he was just all into her, and he's going to get there. But nonetheless, someone not really disconnecting so greatly on the other side. So interesting energy for that. Now as I move on, so this card is to highlight where it is that you may be feeling blocked, or you may have blocks. The universe is going to show you where it's at. Now, surrender to joy. Key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling. During both the hard and easy times, keep surrendering to more joy. So I think that what that means, like, and if you're on the edge of a relationship, you're not going to really want to be happy. But I feel like there's things within you. If you're going from one relationship to another, it's like you feel like you have to be sad for that other person. It's like, no, be yourself, be happy, enjoy that time. Don't feel limited to playing off emotions for someone else. It's your time to react to those fresh emotions, because that's where you need to be. So don't be playing sad when you're really trying to get out of a relationship that has wronged you, or you felt was not right for you, or you just felt didn't fit. Do not overplay the drama there. Just simply enjoy those things that bring you joy, and feel free to express that. That's the bottom line. Feel free to express the joy that you get, no matter what you're going through. The overall card, just a bumper card that I added in here for extra, from the fortune reading cards, is the Phoenix. So be prepared to be renewed after a period of crisis. And I feel like these Cancer males have been through crisis for quite some time. This is not a new thing. It has been long and drawn out, and I think they felt like they had nothing left, and now it's like they've burnt everything to the ground, and whew, there comes all that energy. We've really released everything where it needs to be, and now I can be the best version of me. I feel like there's really was an oppression here. Like there was a real repressing of emotion, oppression feeling upon them. Just everything is just very kind of, that's where the devil sat, you know, is that oppression. And I feel like it's still kind of not released yet. And that's where it is here. It's on its way out, but that's really what it is. There's a sense of repression here upon these Cancers that is really just having a hard time. But over the summer, I feel like this is going to go. This is really going to flip over, and the Phoenix is going to rise, and away we go. And more into the fall, really, to be prepared, to be into a renewal of energy, a renewed sense of self, and a renewed sense of freedom, feeling just freedom unlocked from these Cancer males that, you know, they've had been on lockdown for quite a while, feel tied to. So be careful of that. And also a deep karmic, if not karmic, kind of like a mate connection, you know, that you got coming up that is really going to bring you forward, but you kind of are in between the half stage, so you just really have to make sure that you surrender to the joy during this time, and then when that new energy comes in, it will just be easier to dive into that. So that is the reading for Cancer for the summer of 2017. Thank you very much. Sorry about the readings. Sometimes these things just happen, but I feel like maybe it's because the messages that come out are just a little more advanced or a little more up to date from during the time that I process these things. So thanks again for your patience, everybody. I appreciate it, especially during this time of computer glitches, internet glitches. I really had to go through the computer, the internet system, everything. I had to change it all up, go back to the company that supplies my internet, all of it. So I got all that fixed, so hopefully we're good for the next 6 months. In the meantime, take care, have a great summer, and be kind.